Here are 5 AI use cases that will train you to prompt better with your new AI coworker, Claude.
All around us, translucent glass panes are floating in a dark atmospheric void, perfectly connected by these shimmering amber and soft white particles of data. Beautiful, right? Well, that's exactly what harnessing AI should feel like, effortlessly connecting brilliant data points. But if you're anything like me, you probably use AI a lot, but sometimes feel like you're just kind of scratching the surface. Today, we're going to change that. We're diving into a framework designed to take us from casual AI chatters to deliberate prompt engineers. We're looking specifically at Claude, Anthropic's AI, and figuring out how to properly onboard it into our daily workflows. Let's anchor ourselves right away with this core metaphor. You see, a lot of folks completely fail with AI because they treat it like Google, right? You type in a quick query and you just expect absolute magic. Instead, I want you to think of Claude as a highly capable intern fresh out of college. Like they have literally read every single book ever published, but they have absolutely zero clue about your specific company's goals, your brand voice, or your internal politics. To get anything useful out of them, we have to inject that context ourselves. So, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. Think of it as loading up core modules. We'll start with moving beyond casual AI chatting, then architecting ideas and analysis, debugging and persona shaping, playing the devil's advocate, and we'll wrap it all up with some pro-level prompting tips. All right, let's dive right into Module 1, Beyond Casual AI Chatting, moving from simple inputs to collaborative engineering. What's really fascinating here is the sheer shift in mindset you need to make. Basic chatting, that's just a one-way street. But collaborative prompt engineering is a true partnership. It's built entirely on providing clear instructions, context, and constraints to maximize the quality of your output. We literally have to supply the company context that our highly read intern inherently lacks. It's kind of a tough pill to swallow, but honestly, if the output is bad, it's usually because our input was just lazy. Moving right along to Section 2, Architecting Ideas and Analysis, where we're going to define the brainstormer and analyst roles. Let's assign our intern its very first specific role, which we'll call the recursive brainstormer. You know that feeling when you're staring at a blank page and you're just completely stuck? Well, instead of just asking the AI for random ideas, you need to cast it as a specific persona. You explicitly tell it, hey, you are a creative director. Let's say we set the persona as a senior growth marketer, and the task is to build a 30-day sustainable coffee social media campaign. But here is the absolutely brilliant part, that final constraint. You instruct the AI to ask you 5 targeted questions about your audience, your budget, your goals, before it generates a single thing. This forces a real dialogue, ensuring the strategy actually fits your reality, instead of the AI just spitting out some generic internet advice. Next up, we have our second role, the long context analyst. Because Claude has this absolutely massive context window, it can process huge amounts of text all at once. But the real trick here isn't just asking it to summarize. It's about summarizing through a very specific, highly directed lens. Imagine you just sat through an hour-long, totally chaotic product sync meeting, and you paste that transcript into Claude. Instead of a generic summarize this, you give it a strict analytical framework. You ask it to extract action items, assign owners, and specifically flag any discrepancies where stakeholders disagreed on the launch deadline. Suddenly, that messy conversation is totally transformed. It pulls out exactly what you need to move forward, cleanly and clearly. Okay, let's bring Module 3 into focus, debugging and persona shaping. We'll look at the coder and the editor. For the code and formula debugger role, the secret is literally all in the framing. You clearly define your current state. Say you have a messy Excel sheet with a first name in column A, a last name in column B, and scattered middle initials everywhere. Then, you explicitly define your desired state, a combined name formula that successfully handles those weird middle initial edge cases. Explain step by step. By framing this gap clearly, the AI can flawlessly write and explain Python scripts or Excel macros, even if you don't know the first thing about programming. Now, moving over to the persona editor role, let's look at how we can shape tone. We start by feeding our intern a very rigid, traditional, formal press release about a company merger. We want it to adapt this single piece of content for entirely different audiences without sounding like a robot. In an absolute snap, by providing a simple instruction and maybe a quick sample of your own brand voice, the intern adapts that dry press release into a casual, high-energy LinkedIn post meant to hype up employees. The core facts are all still there, but the packaging is completely transformed. And then, with just another prompt constraint, it condenses that exact same information into a hyper-concise 2-sentence Slack update for internal channels, perfectly maintaining a mandated tone of cautious optimism. This right here proves the AI can sound exactly like you if you just take the time to feed it the right voice guidelines. All right, Section 4, playing the devil's advocate and red teaming your strategy. This is such a crucial step, guys. One of the biggest hidden dangers of AI is this yes man behavior. It inherently wants to agree with you and please you, which can easily lead to hallucinations or just reinforcing your bad ideas. We have to actively configure our intern to prevent this by asking stark questions like, what would a competitor do to stop us? When we hand over a big plan, like a European market expansion proposal, we absolutely must mandate a critical lens. We give it a red team prompt. We tell it, read this proposal, be completely critical and objective, identify the 3 biggest risks we haven't accounted for, and detail competitive countermeasures. By forcing the AI into this devil's advocate persona, we aggressively stress test our ideas, uncover blind spots, and build much more resilient strategies. Finally, let's shift to Section 5, Pro-Level Prompting Tips. These are the rules of engagement for your new intern. To wrap up our onboarding, let's lay down the ultimate training rules, which actually stack perfectly on top of each other. Step 1 is few-shot prompting. Don't just explain what you want, show it. Provide 2 examples of a perfect response, and it will absolutely nail the third. Step 2, use XML tags. Claude loves structure. Wrap your data in tags to cleanly separate the different parts of your prompt. And step 3, this is huge, okay? Iterate, don't restart. If the first result is just kind of meh, don't open a new chat window. Tell the intern exactly what went wrong in that same thread. Tell it, hey, cut the length by 50% and remove the buzzwords. Course correct it, just like you would a real human intern. Look at the progression we just went through. By forcing you to provide explicit context, strict constraints, and clear frameworks, well, it begs a really provocative question. Who is really doing the training here? Are you training the AI, or is the AI actually training you to communicate more clearly and more thoughtfully? Mastering these tools might not just make you faster, it just might make you a better, more deliberate leader overall. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Now go put your new intern to work.
Welcome to SGIT Meister, your ultimate destination for futuristic technology and AI innovation.